Welcome to Managing the Future, the MIS podcast. Today, we're doing a deep dive into business computer applications. This is key stuff from Module 13 of your MIS studies. Now, if you're a college student, maybe especially one in the Dr. Sam Pack College of Business, or thinking about a future in management, business operations, or information systems, this is definitely for you. Our goal here is really to help you cut through some of the complexity around management information systems, MIS, and really grasp the key ideas in a way that's, well, engaging and useful. Because let's face it, today's business world is super specialized, incredibly data-rich. Running things means coordinating across, well, everything HR, supply chains with data just constantly streaming in. Businesses really rely heavily on computer applications now.
That's right. And just so you know where we're coming from today, our material is based on the textbook Connect Master, Management Information Systems. It's by Richard Tedmon and Tedmon Wilhelm, published by McGraw Hill in 2024. It's a really solid resource for understanding this digital warfare system of business.
Definitely. And hey, as always, if you find this deep dive helpful, please do think about liking, subscribing, following, sharing it, maybe leave a comment. It really helps us reach more people like you and keep building this out. Okay, so let's unpack this whole area. Think about it. It wasn't that long ago that a general business degree seemed like enough, right?
Yeah.
But now, you see these really specialized roles everywhere, chief financial officer, CIO, CMO. Why did that happen?
Well, businesses just got way more complex. You've got the global economy all interconnected, and then there's this tidal wave of big data. It just demands specialized skills to manage it all.
So the rise of these C-level roles really highlights how big a job managing a modern company is. And that's exactly where MIS technology comes in. It's become pretty much indispensable for managers in all sorts of fields.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating, I think, is how these MIS applications aren't just, about doing things faster. They give managers a kind of almost like a sixth sense. They help you anticipate market changes, optimize how you use resources, even predict what customers might do. It turns all that raw data into, a strategic superpower.
A superpower, I like that.
It really is. The main purpose is to help managers across all parts of the business. And it really underscores how everything in a successful company is connected. You can't just tweak one thing over here without it impacting something else over there. It's all linked.
Okay, so let's start right at the foundation. How businesses handle money. Because, that's fundamental. It's hard to imagine now, but think back just a few decades. Doing transactions was, a bit of a nightmare sometimes. You had those clunky imprinters.
Well, yeah, the Kerchunk machines.
Exactly. Making carbon copies. Or remember those huge books listing stolen credit card numbers? Payments were slow. Checking things was tedious. Traveler's checks even. How did we get from that to instant digital payments confirmed in seconds anywhere?
That huge leap is precisely why transaction processing systems, or TPS, are so essential. Basically, TPS are systems built to make the actual sales process way more efficient, more instantaneous. Don't just think of it as a cash register, though. It's the system behind your instant coffee payment. It tracks every single item scanned at the grocery store, makes sure your bank balance updates right away. It's really the heartbeat of commerce.
Right. It's like how money replaced barter. TPS streamlined modern buying and selling.
Exactly.
And the original TPS really was the good old cash register, wasn't it? Invented back in the 1880s by James Ritty. It had that famous bell.
Ringing up a sale.
Yeah, alerting the owner, helping track cash. That eventually became NCR Corporation. But today, of course, it's all about point of sale or POS terminals. They pretty much replaced the old cash drawers.
And that evolution created a bit of a hurdle, particularly for smaller businesses. Big companies with lots of sales, they usually work directly with merchant service providers, acquiring banks. But those banks, they can be kind of wary about setting up accounts for smaller businesses, maybe see them as riskier. So that's where merchant service aggregators step in.
Ah, okay. So how do they work?
They basically let smaller businesses kind of pool together and share merchant accounts. This makes it possible for them to accept credit cards, which is huge. Now, the fees might be slightly higher, or there might be lower caps on how much they can process per year. But for most small business owners, the extra sales they get from taking cards, totally worth it.
Makes sense. And we definitely know the big names here. You've got PayPal, right? They completely changed online payments, sending money, receiving it, handling different currencies, taking card payments.
Absolutely. Then there's Stripe. They started out focusing more on the back end, like integrating payment processing into websites and other business software. But they've moved into physical stores, too, with POS systems and aggregator services.
And Square. They started so simply, didn't they? Just a little card reader you plugged into your phone. Now they have the square stand, the iPad setup with a cash drawer and printer. You see those everywhere in small shops and cafes.
You really do. And we can't forget QuickBooks. It became the standard for small business accounting software, but they also offer QuickBooks payments for card processing and aggregation, and they partner up for things like payroll and HR. It's become a pretty comprehensive package.
Okay, so TXS handles the money moving. Now let's shift gears to something more strategic. Making smarter business decisions. This is where things get really interesting, turning all that transaction data into actual insights.
Indeed. This is the realm of Decision Support Systems, or DSS. You'll also hear it called Business Intelligence, or BI software. Essentially, it gives decision makers the information they need to tackle complex problems, especially when things are changing fast, which, let's be honest, is always. DSS really took off as computers got more powerful, and as the hardware keeps getting better, DSS gets more sophisticated. Pretty much every business uses some form of DSS today, whether it's for figuring out ad spending, refining hiring, managing inventory, or planning production.
So what makes up a DSS? What are the key parts?
There are generally three main components. First, you need the data. This usually comes from a database or maybe a larger data warehouse. Second, there's the methodology. This is the complex software model itself, the brains of the operation that analyzes the data and comes up with recommendations or determinations. And third, you have the user interface. That's where the manager interacts with the system, sees the results, implements decisions. Often it's a dashboard you can customize.
Okay, data, methodology, interface. Got it. Who are the big players providing this?
Some of the major ones you'll hear about are Microsoft Power BI, SAP's Business Objects platform, and also Tableau, which is owned by Salesforce now. And while QuickBooks, say, doesn't have its own built-in DSS, lots of companies make business analytics software that plugs right into it, so even smaller businesses can get access to this kind of decision support power.
And this is cool. You mentioned DSS gets more sophisticated. Most of them actually use a type of artificial intelligence, right?
That's right. The models aren't static. They learn. They adapt their processes based on how accurate their past predictions or recommendations were. So they literally get smarter over time. Think of it like a digital consultant that's constantly learning from results.
Wow. So it improves itself.
Exactly. Take a marketing manager, for example. Maybe they want to know, if I increase my social media ad budget by X%, will I get the sales growth I need? The DSS can model that, give a likely outcome, but then, if the actual sales figures come in differently than predicted, the DSS adjusts its internal model. Next time it makes a recommendation, it's based on that updated understanding. It refines its own advice.
That's powerful stuff. Okay, so if DSS helps managers make decisions, what about the very top executives? Is there something specifically for them?
There is. We often call it an Executive Information System, or EIS. Sometimes you'll hear Executive Support System, or ESS. It's basically a specialized version of DSS or BI, but it's tailored specifically for the strategic needs of senior corporate execs, usually in larger companies.
How is it different from a regular DSS?
EIS applications pull data not just from inside the company, but from external sources too. Think market trends, competitor activities, economic indicators. This gives executives a much broader view. It helps them understand not just their own company's performance, but also what the competition is doing, what's happening in the wider market. It provides that high-level strategic picture needed for big decisions. It's less about operational details and more about strategic direction.
So what are the key elements you'd find in an EIS?
Well, a really intuitive user interface is critical, usually that dashboard format again. It has to let an executive quickly scan across the organization, spot anything unusual or off target, and then this is important, drill down into specific areas to get more detail if needed. Another key part is communication capability. The exec needs to be able to easily share insights, maybe highlight something on the dashboard, add a note, and send it through their department. And underpinning it all is the software infrastructure, the plumbing, basically. It needs to connect smoothly to all the necessary internal and external databases and run the analytical models the executive relies on.
Since it's about quick insights, context, and communication.
Precisely. And ESS or EIS software tends to be tailored around 5 main executive functions: operations management, financial management, marketing, human resources, and supply chain management. While there are many providers, you see names like SAP and Oracle frequently dominating across these categories, offering sophisticated tools for everything from, say, optimizing manufacturing processes to analyzing complex financial data or forecasting personnel needs. But even for mid-sized companies, systems like QuickBooks Online Advanced are offering more and more EIS-like capabilities. The goal is always that critical visibility for high-level decision-making.
Okay, we've covered systems for handling transactions, TPS, systems for supporting decisions, DSS, and systems for top execs, EIS. So what pulls all of this together for the whole organization? This feels like it leads to something bigger.
It absolutely does. That's where enterprise resource planning, or ERP, systems come in. Think of ERP as the ultimate integrated system. After you have solid TPS for transactions and DSIs to analyze that data for decisions, the logical next step is to connect everything. ERP aims to do just that.
So define ERP for us. What does it encompass?
An ERP system essentially integrates the management of almost all aspects of an organization. It's like a unified suite combining applications for all the core areas. We're talking of finance and accounting, HR, production, logistics, which includes supply chain and inventory, customer relationship management, CRM, sales, marketing, sometimes even more, depending on the business. It tries to create a single, coherent system for the entire company.
Like one central nervous system for the business.
That's a great way to put it.
So the elements, then, are really about bringing all that departmental software under one roof. Finance, HR, operations, SEM, CRM.
Exactly. Centralization is key. An ERP needs powerful database analytics to pull data from everywhere. Those data warehouses we mentioned run sophisticated models for DSS, EIS, BI, and crucially, it needs a user interface that works for both department managers and senior executives. It has to serve multiple levels.
That sounds incredibly complex and probably expensive. Is it only for huge corporations?
It used to be, largely. But the rise of cloud-based ERP systems has been a game changer. Big players like Microsoft, SAP, and Oracle now offer cloud solutions. This makes powerful ERP systems much more accessible and affordable for smaller and mid-sized businesses that couldn't have handled the cost and complexity of massive on-premise installations before. Other key competitors include folks like Epicor and the Sage Group, so no, comprehensive integration isn't just for the Fortune 500 anymore.
That's a significant shift. Okay, let's zoom in on one critical piece you mentioned that often fits with an ERP, supply chain management, or SEM, especially today with global supply chains being so complex and sometimes fragile.
Absolutely. SCM systems provide the software tools needed to manage the entire flow of goods and services efficiently. We're talking from the very beginning, like getting raw materials, all the way through manufacturing, distribution, and finally getting paid by the customer. Good SCM helps businesses see potential problems coming, maybe a delay from a supplier or a surge in demand, and react quickly. It usually integrates status updates from various points in the chain onto a single dashboard for that end-to-end visibility.
What are the core parts of SCM software typically?
Usually you'll see three main pillars. Supplier relationship management, dealing with who you buy from, order fulfillment management, making sure orders get processed and delivered correctly, and customer relationship management on the delivery and service side. These work together to keep things moving smoothly. One of the main functions, beyond just visibility, is helping to reduce something called the bullwhip effect. Have you heard of that?
The Forrester effect, right, where small changes in customer demand get massively amplified further back up the supply chain.
That's the one. A small ripple becomes a huge wave. SCM systems can dampen that effect by using data to better anticipate those shifts in demand, allowing companies to adjust production and logistics more proactively instead of just reacting wildly after the fact. It smooths out the peaks and valleys.
And that's why it often plugs right into the main ERP system.
Precisely. Many companies integrate SCM directly into their ERP suite. It ensures that information about inventory, logistics, and supplier status is coordinated seamlessly with finance, production planning, sales, and everything else. It's a vital module in that larger ecosystem.
Who are the main providers here? Still the big ERP names.
Yes, SAP and Oracle are major players, often offering SCM as part of their ERP packages. But you also have specialists like Blue Yonder, which focuses heavily on SCM. And honestly, there are well over 100 other firms providing SCM solutions. It's a big and critical area.
Okay, last but definitely not least, let's circle back to the customer. Because ultimately, everything a business does should be focused on them, right? So customer relationship management, CRM software.
Absolutely central. CRM systems are all about managing a company's interactions with its customers, both current and potential. It uses data analysis to figure out who your most valuable customers are, how to keep them happy, and how to find more like them. The real focus is on optimizing the entire customer experience. In many industries, especially retail, CRM can actually be the most complex and expensive piece of the puzzle.
Why is that?
Because it has to integrate so many different touch points where a customer interacts with the company, think about it. Social media, website visits, call center calls, actual sales transactions, returns, marketing emails, even feedback related to delivery from the SCM side. A good CRM collects all that information, analyzes buying habits, tries to anticipate customer needs and preferences, all with the goal of building stronger, more profitable relationships.
So what are the main functions it organizes?
You can generally break it down into 3 core areas: marketing, reaching out and attracting customers; sales, managing the process of turning leads into actual sales; and customer service, handling support, resolving issues, and maintaining satisfaction after the purchase. It aims for a complete view of the customer journey. And in terms of providers, Salesforce is arguably the biggest name specifically in CRM. They're known for integrating well with lots of other systems, but again, the big ERP players like SAP, Oracle with their commerce platform, Adobe, Marketing Cloud, and Microsoft Dynamics CRM often include powerful CRM modules within their broader ERP offerings. And just like with ERP, there are also great CRM options focused on smaller businesses like HubSpot CRM, Zoho CRM, and Freshsales CRM. So robust customer management tools are available for businesses of all sizes now.
Wow. Okay, that was quite the journey through the landscape of business computer applications in MIS. From the basic transaction with TPS up through decision support with DSS and EIS, integrating everything with ERP, managing the flow of goods with SCM, and focusing on the customer with CRM. Understanding how these systems work together really paints a picture of the digital backbone of modern business. It's not just about knowing the acronyms. It's about seeing how technology enables almost every function. For any business student or professional, getting your head around this is, well, it's invaluable.
It really is fundamental. And maybe to leave you, our listeners, with something practical to think about, something that might connect to your own future plans. Imagine you're starting a small business. Let's say you manufacture and sell custom rugs. You've got materials coming from different suppliers. You need to manage sales, maybe hire someone eventually, handle shipping. Based on everything we've discussed today, TPS, DSS, EIS, ERP, SCM, CRM, which one of these systems would you prioritize investing in first? And why? Where do you think you'd get the most immediate benefit or the biggest competitive edge starting out?
Ooh, that's a great question. Really makes you think about priorities when resources are limited. Definitely something to ponder, especially if you have entrepreneurial ambitions. We hope you'll chew on that. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, share this deep dive, and leave your thoughts in the comments. It helps others find this, and we love hearing from you. It's pretty amazing when you step back and see how deeply these systems are woven into the fabric of business today, shaping success and, really, the future. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.